Hey everybody, let's talk about the upcoming Libra full moon that we have happening on Sunday, April 13th. Now, one of the wonderful things with full moons is this is where things reach a conclusion, they reach a head. And we're going to be talking today about all of the little intervals that are happening in this full moon that are really bringing us together with the conclusion to the Aries-Libra eclipse cycle that we've been encountering since 2023. This really sews it up and brings that balance between your needs and the needs in relationship, right? So let's all just kind of get hunkered in and get ready to hear all about what these astrological events really mean for us. And then after this video, I'm going to make another one that is about how this full moon is going to be impacting your sign in particular. So now the Aries-Libra eclipses, that eclipse cycle, eclipses work in 10-year intervals in astrology, and they bring new beginnings. Now the Aries-Libra cycle started in 2023, and it really was a journey of understanding the self and understanding the self in relationship. So since April of 2023, we've been experiencing these eclipses that are along that axis of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac that deals with the self, and Libra, which is the seventh house in astrology that deals with relationship. Now, this concluded in March of this year, right? We had that Aries eclipse that wrapped it up. And this period has been all about balancing out our personal ambitions with our relationships, finding what it is that you need and what you need in relationship, and bringing that balance. Now, Aries encourages us to assert our individuality, where Libra emphasizes harmony and connection with others. It facilitates relationship, right? So it really wants that balance and that harmony. Now, throughout this cycle, many of us have faced these lessons in standing up for ourselves, definitely standing up for ourselves without compromising our relationships. And that's a really hard line to walk. And so at these eclipses, it really brought to light those dynamics in relationship and how your needs matter and how you assert yourself to get those needs met. Now, it's really quite a dance, right? Finding that equilibrium between me and we. And those eclipses really brought that to light. So now we have this Libra full moon that's happening. This is the first one that is after that eclipse cycle. So all of those lessons that you've learned, you may notice that they're coming to a head. Maybe you're coming to that realization of, oh my gosh, I understand now how I've had these repetitive cycles in relationships and what it is I need to do to change that. And as we approach this Libra full moon, so it's really on the weekend, on the 12th to 13th, in that time frame, it's really like the universe is shining a spotlight on how well we've managed this balance between what it is you need and what it is you need in relationship and finding that balance, right? Full moons bring clarity, right? The sun and the moon are in complete opposition of one another. So I always say it's like the sun is shining a light on every crack and crevice that's hidden in the moon. And so it does the same for us. So they bring clarity, they bring culmination. And when it's in Libra, that focuses on our partnerships, our relationships, our inner harmony, our inner balance. It's a time to reflect. Have we been too focused or overly accommodating in our relationships? Did those eclipse cycles really bring that to light? Where do we need to recalibrate to ensure that these relationships of all kinds, right? Not just romantic relationships, but are they balanced? Are they fair? Are they reciprocal? Are they healthy? That's a number one thing, right? Especially as we go into the Virgo Pisces axis of eclipses this year, it is really focused on that health. So with that, right, think about this. Now, with this full moon focused in relationship in Libra, another component that we have to that is Chiron. Chiron is going to be infused in this full moon as well. Now, Chiron is not a planet. Chiron is actually an asteroid. Believe it or not, I don't know why this guy isn't a planet, because it's actually bigger than Pluto, but it's an asteroid. And it's known as the wounded healer. It represents wherever it lands in your birth chart, says where your life's greatest wound is. It'll kind of repeat itself again and again. But at some point you work through those wounds so that way you can become the wounded healer, helping others to heal from that same wound. And I always say the best teachers are the ones that live it, right? So that Chiron influence adds depth to this full moon, right? That wounded healer, it may be bringing up some of those wounds within yourself, especially in relationships. So Chiron's influence encourages us to embrace our vulnerabilities, right? And to recognize the strength that comes in our scars, right? The lessons that we've learned in these relationships, the lessons we've learned about ourselves, the healing that we've gone through. And under this lunar energy of the full moon, we might find ourselves confronting those old wounds, right? They may be resurfacing, related to our sense of self, related to our past relationships, related to how we connect with others. And it's really an invitation from the universe, right? For us to transform that pain into wisdom. That's one of the major lessons of Chiron, and to have it infused in such a powerful full moon like this, it's really fostering deeper connections within ourselves, right? Getting that self-awareness to really bubble up. And because when we're aware of ourselves, we can really get our needs fully met in relationship and also meet the needs of the other people, right? Now, another thing, which is actually kind of ironic at that same time, Venus goes direct. Now, Venus is the planet that rules Libra, so it also deals with fairness and balance and harmony, love and relationships and money as well. And so when that guy retrogrades, that lady, I guess, Venus is more of a feminine planet. Now, when that planet retrogrades, it has us looking to the past, right? Looking to the past and how we have been in relationships, right? And especially because this really kind of danced on the edge of Aries, where we've had those eclipses, there's been a lot of looking to our relationship styles and patterns. So there's a lot of heart-centered clarity that comes from the fact that Venus leaves its retrograde phase and it goes direct the same day as this full moon. It's in sync with the full moon. So when you have Venus, the planet of love and relationships, ending this retrograde cycle, ending this retrograde journey over the past weeks, as it's been there, it's been 40 days that it's been retrograde, that has us really looking to the past, right? Like I said, in those relationships, it may have stirred up some of that introspection about what it is that we value, because Venus has us looking at our value systems. It has us looking at what we value. It has us looking at our desires and those relationship patterns, like I said beforehand. So as she stations direct, there's a potential for newfound clarity and forward momentum as a result in our personal relationships, especially if you're really ready to let go of some wounds that just keep following you and you want to become that inner warrior and you want to do the Aries thing of standing up for yourself and saying, I'm no longer going to let this determine my life and my relationships. This is really an opportune moment to apply all of those insights that we've gained over the past couple of years and move towards a more authentic and fulfilling relationship with ourselves and definitely relationships with others. So one of the great things with all of this energy, right, is that embracing this full moon's energy is just so vital. And there's so many different ways that we can really harness this potent energy. This is a time for release. This is really a very strong portal of energy to really make those lasting changes in relationships. So here's some ideas on different ways to utilize the energy of this full moon. Number one, I'm a big one for journaling. So reflecting and journaling is great. Take time to write about your experiences that you've had, realizations that have come through, events that have happened in your relationships since 2023. How have your relationships evolved? That's one thing to ask yourself. Where have you grown in asserting your needs in these relationships while honoring the needs of others? Where were you able to find that balance? Where does balance still need to be found? Another thing to do is meditation, right? We can always get in connection with ourselves and the universe, and a heart meditation is great since Venus rules Libra. So engaging in any kind of meditative practice that focuses on opening and healing that heart chakra is going to be great. It's going to facilitate forgiveness. It's going to facilitate compassion. It's going to facilitate healing, especially with having that wounded healer Chiron working in the background. It really helps us to give compassion for ourselves and for others. Now, another thing too with Chiron, releasing is important, right? Releasing, consider performing like a releasing ritual. Maybe this is something of just letting go of those lingering resentments, those patterns that no longer serve you, that aren't in your highest and your best, right? And they're not in the highest and the best of your relationships. So maybe, really, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. What you can do is just even bringing that realization to it and looking at the moon and saying, you know what? I surrender this to you, moon. I don't need this anymore. Take it from me and replace it with only good, light, and love. Whatever sounds right to you, there's no wrong way, there's no right way, right? But one thing is that no matter what it is that you do, just knowing that you have the power at any time of the year to do these things, but certain time frames are going to work for you better. So when you're focused on really changing relationship dynamics, you're going to want to do that when Libra is involved. So this is going to be the strongest one of the year, definitely, because this is the full moon for releasing. Now, astrology is one of those things. Just keep this in mind, right? Astrology is such an amazing tool. I know it. I've been teaching it for 10 years. I'm a big believer in it. It's a mirror for us to understand ourselves better. But this Libra and Aries eclipse cycle and this upcoming full moon are cosmic invitations for us to really find that harmony within. This is an opportune moment. Trust yourself, right? Like I was starting to say just a little bit ago. Astrology is amazing, but it's not the Bible, right? It doesn't tell us exactly what to do. We don't have to follow it step by step. We take the wisdom of astrology and we apply it to what our soul tells us we need to do. And if you feel that push of the universe really supporting you on your path towards balance and authentic connections, that is exactly what you're going to do in this full moon. Know if you need to end a relationship, trust what your instincts are telling you. Even if your chart says no, if you're having repeated messages coming through to you and you know that it's in your highest and best, trust yourself. Always trust yourself first and foremost, right? But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to watch my next video because then we're going to really break it down on how this full moon is going to be impacting your sign. So be sure to watch that for your sun, your moon, and your rising, right? Everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.